Check one, check one. Bremen football on broadcastsport.net, coming to you from Falcon Field here in Walkerton, Indiana. It's approximately 27 minutes before kickoff, and so hope that you guys are settling with us there. We're going to do some more tech checks here, but I think we've got a good broadcast ready for you this evening. Jesse Bohannon here, glad to have you with us.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. You know, I can hear myself.
All right. Check one, check one. There we go. Look, it sounded good. We're maxing out a little bit here. Check one. Lion football coming to you from, actually I might be a little hot here. Lion football coming to you from Walkerton, John Glenn High School, and Falcon Field. The Lions on the field, ready to come out for the evening. All right. Let's try that again, Jamal. Let me check.
Testing, testing.
All right, you're good. Now let's see if I can get some audio. I don't know why I'm not getting anything coming from over here.
exactly do you mean? See, I've already waited too long, and all my hope is gone. justice will pay. All the stones that are thrown are building up the wall. I have become conversation to this world. With ancient glance, my own stone face can't seem to break her down. She remembers bridges burned to the ground. I have become conversation to this world. Too poor, she's wanting me less and I'm wanting no more. The bitter taste is coming soon. No, yeah, no, no, no. No, 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 yeah. One with a narrow end across, regardless of the balance, life has become cumbersome. Too heavy, too light, too black or too white, too wrong or too right, tonight, cumbersome. Too rich or too poor, she's wanting me less and I'm wanting her more. A bitter taste is come so. No, yeah, no, no, no. No, 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 yeah. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Your life has become cumbersome. I'm the sun and the air. All the shine is that is coming forward. I'm sun and air, but nothing in particular. You should know, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else I'm the sun and the air. that is criminally vulgar. I am the son and heir of nothing in particular. You should know, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does. There's a club if you'd like to go. You could meet somebody who really loves you. So you go and you stand on your own, and you leave on your own, and you go home and you cry and you want to die.
Five and two.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BroadcastSports.net's presentation of Northern State Conference football. And I'm Jesse Bohannon. Alongside me tonight is Jamal Baldwin, and we are happy to bring you tonight's contest as the Bremen Lions have traveled just about 15 miles down US 6 to Walkerton, Indiana, to face John Glenn's Falcons. And you see the Falcon fans down there are ready to welcome their team onto the field. And tonight, I think, should be a fairly evenly matched contest. Bremen coming off of a very good win, or not win, a very good showing last week against the Jimtown Jimmies, and Bremen lost that game 21-6. But there were a few things that I'd like to comment on that were some positives coming out of the game. First of all, Jamal, if you guys remember, we were pretty impressed by Jimtown's resume coming into the game last week. They had really blown out some of the opponents they played earlier in the season, and I was not very optimistic about our ability to stand up to their rushing attack and to put some yards on the ground against them. But we did a pretty good job. What did you think?
Yeah, we did do pretty good against a good Jimtown team.
All right, and looking at the final stats, I said one of the telling tales about how good we were going to be was going to be that average gain per play. And so we look at Jimtown versus New Prairie, averaged 7.5 yards per play. Against Concord, they averaged over 9 yards per play, and against Culver, they averaged 7.2 yards per play. So for those three quality opponents, the 3 weeks before they played us, they averaged 8.0 yards every time they snapped the ball. That's pretty impressive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Against Bremen, they only averaged 5.7 yards.
Yeah.
So that means I don't know whether it was all the weather or the sloppy field conditions last week, or if it was just Bremen's defense. Jimtown fans seem to say that they hate the 3-5 defense that Bremen runs, but we were able to hold them to 30% less production per play than those teams before. So not a bad game, and Bremen was able to win the second half 6-0. So I think that's got to be very encouraging It's got to be very encouraging to the Bremen players as they head into this last Northern State Conference game with Glenn, and as they prepare for the playoffs to have played as well as anybody has against that Jimtown team last week. So looking beyond that and moving into, or actually let me do a little summary on the stats from last week. Our offense is looking a lot better with the return of Reed Zelmer. He was able to score our lone touchdown and had a nice rushing night against the Jimmies. Let's see our individual stats here. Reed Zelmer carried the ball 22 times for 117 yards. Dylan Mullen carried it 4 times for 16 yards, and John Stoller had 1 carry for 2 yards. Our passing game was fairly effective. Kai Slough was 5 for 13 for 54 yards. He did have 1 interception, no touchdowns on the night for Kai. And our receivers, Ryan Zelmer, caught the ball 3 times for 34 yards, and Ethan Pike had probably one of his lowest production nights of the season for 2 catches for 20 yards. Good thing for the Lions, however, only lost 1 fumble, had 2 turnovers total against Jimtown, and then Jacob Bennett was able to come up with interception on the defense for the Lions. So one other key stat I thought was very impressive is that the Jimmies got into the red zone 5 times against the Lion defense, and Bremen only gave up 2 scores. So that was pretty impressive. Only a 40% conversion ratio in the red zone for Jimtown last week, while Bremen was 1 for 1. So also pretty impressive for that Lion front line is that they did not give up a sack to the Jimmies, and that's probably the first time in a while that's happened. So all in all, a fairly impressive win. Well, again, we don't like having moral victories in this Bremen football program. We like actually winning games, but there's no way we're going to see a team anywhere near as good as this Bremen or as that Jimtown team was as we advance to the 2A playoffs this upcoming week. Other news, talking about those 2A playoffs, we got our sectional draw. And so for those of you who haven't heard, we will be traveling down to Lewis Cass for the opening round game next week, and it should be a 7:30 kickoff there. And just to repeat a little history, the last time we played at Lewis Cass would have been the semi-state in 1994, and we punched our tickets to the Dome down there with a 16-7 win over the Kings. So good history there, and hopefully the Lion players will get a reminder of that from their coaches next week. So we are all set for the kickoff here. The Bremen Lions are shaking hands with the players from John Glenn down there and heading back to the sideline, ready to start this game. Before we get things going tonight, we want to be sure and thank our sponsors for Bremen Lion football on broadcastsport.net. Want to thank Koffel Construction, Bruno's Pizza, as well as our friends at Four-Way, at Mapletronics and Verizon. So the Lions set to kick off. Lucas Schlarb, the kicker. And back deep for the Falcons is Ethan Cook, the 5'11", 120-pound freshman. And the kick is up. It's low. And it is scooped up on the sideline. Up across the 40 and breaking into free territory is number 2, Zach Combs, and he is finally tracked down after he crosses the 50-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons on their own 40. Or excuse me, on the Bremen 40. So great field position to start the game for John Glenn. Not what you want to have going on there for the Bremen special teams to start the game. Josh Fox was able to corral Combs after he picked up about 30 yards on the return. So here comes the Falcon offense. And again, in that traditional double wing, similar to what you see from Jimtown, man in motion is Combs, and the quarterback sneaks across the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 4.5 yards. And the ball spotted on the 36-yard line. Lidke was the ball carrier, the quarterback for the Falcons. And again, he brings his offense out, split backs, and the handoff goes inside, where he is wrapped up by the Lion defense for a no gain. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 for the Falcons. And that's what we talked about on our way out here, Jamal. This is what Bremen wants to see happen, is a 3rd and long for John Glenn. They're not comfortable throwing the ball, and if we can force them into 3rd and long, that's going to be a good spot here for the Lion defense. This time single back, single receiver right. Man in motion for the Falcons. And another man in motion. The toss this time goes back across the field to Combs, who fumbles the ball forward across the 1st down marker, and it's recovered by the Falcons. So it'll be 1st down for John Glenn. A fortuitous fumble there for them. Combs fumbles, and Michael Smeltz recovers for the Falcons. And so now the Lions, with the defense right down on the 25-yard line. Bremen in their traditional 3-5. Linebacker staying put, and here comes the blitz. This time the ball carrier goes to the left side, and it's Derek Heiler who is wrapped up for a loss of about 2 yards on the carry. Looks like Ryan Zelmer. Yes, that is Zelmer on the tackle for the loss. So it'll be 2nd down, 12 yards to go for the Falcons. And into the game for John Glenn comes Jake Strong. He replaces Levi Schlegg. And the Falcons to the line of scrimmage. Split backs for the Falcons. Strong right. In motion went Heiler. And timeout, John Glenn. So with 9 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in the first quarter, Bremen is scoreless with the Falcons here in Walkerton.
Aren't you getting tired of waiting on the internet? www should not stand for worldwide wait. Fourway.net offers wireless broadband internet service with nearly 50 towers throughout St. Joseph, Southern Elkhart, Marshall, Kosciuszko, and Fulton counties. Now you too can surf the web like your friends for as little as $49 per month. 4-Way can deliver the internet at speeds of up to 3 megabytes per second and beyond. Contact 4way.net at 574-277-7720 for an up-to-date status for your area. If you are in an area that you feel may benefit from their service, let them know. Visit their website at www.4way.net.
And Glenn back on offense. Lidke under center. Sends Schmelz in motion to the left side. And the handoff goes to the second man, who has stood up there by run supporting Bobby Cornett from the safety position, which should bring up a third down and about 5 or 6 yards to go for the Falcons. It is 3rd and 7 at the 23-yard lines. Zach Combs was the ball carrier. Split backs, strong right for the Falcons. This time the play action fake, and it goes long. The catch is complete, and a touchdown for John Glenn. Still trying to see the front numbers on that receiver there. Jake Strong is the receiver, and it is 6-0 Falcons. So, Jamal, we talked about during the pregame that the Falcons don't like throwing the ball. They don't like getting into 3rd and long, and here they go on their second 3rd and long of the night, and they complete it for a touchdown pass. So, you still got to cover those receivers, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
And the kick is up, and it is good. Michael Stoltz on the kick, and it is now 7-0 Falcons. Early here in the game, the Lions trail.
Mapletronics Computers is the place to find great computers, great service, and really great people. Stop by their showroom located at 2116 West Wilden Avenue in Goshen and see what's new in home and office computing. Their friendly service team is there to help with all of your computer repairs, whether you need a tune-up or a complete format and reinstall. New computers, high-speed DSL, Verizon Air cards, they've got it all. Mapletronics is your hometown store for computers and more. Give them a call at 534-2830 or visit their website at www.mapletronics.com.
And so the Falcons taking their first play, their first drive, starting with good field position down near the Bremen 40-yard line, march it down here in just over 3 minutes and punch it in for the first score of the night. Back deep to receive, split backs for the Lions. And the kick is deep. It's taken by Bennett at the 4-yard line. And he's up across the 20, cuts left, and is taken down right inside the 25-yard line where Bremen will take over 1st and 10. Scores coming in from around the area. Penn leads South Bend Adams 13-0 in the first quarter. That's one of the big games going on up there in the Northern Indiana Conference tonight. Again, those surprising Eagles having a very decent season for as far as their history would say. And here we go. Lions on the field now. Split backs, slot receiver in motion is Ryan Zellmer. And Slough is sacked, taken down on the first play for the Lions. Looks like Hunter Schumann, the 6'2", 280-pound defensive lineman. He is a junior, and a nice way to start the night for the Glen defense. And so now the Lions are looking at 2nd down and about 16, and not a good way to come out here and respond. It looks like we're now going to be in the obvious passing situation here. And again, split backs for the Lions. Fake the toss right, and the handoff goes, looks like to Zellmer, who picks up about 12 yards on the carry. And actually the carry this time was to Reed Zellmer. And so it'll be third down, about 4 yards to go. Zelmer, again, like we said, had a very productive night last week. So far for the season, even having missed a good handful of games, he missed half the season, but has had 72 carries for 538 yards to lead the Lions, 5 touchdowns. The carry again goes to Zelmer. And off left tackle, he's not able to get what he needs, and Bremen will come up short here. It'll be fourth down, a long one, almost 2 yards to go here, and that'll bring in the punt team for Bremen. Derek Heiler on the tackle for the Falcons. And so Glenn again has deep. Zach Combs, who was so dangerous on that first return, nearly broke it for a touchdown. And it looks like Schlarb set to punt for the Lions. He gets it away. It is a high spinning kick, and it is well covered by Bremen. Rolling down inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. So a 40-yard punt there for Schlarb, and a good effort for him. Looking at him across throughout the season here, his kicking has been fairly consistent, and it's nice to see him back being able to do PATs, kickoffs, and punts. Schlarb averaging just under 30 yards for the season on his punts, and that one should bring it up over 30. So again, the Lion defense on the field, 3-5 moving around there. Man in motion for the Falcons is Combs, and the ball carrier off left guard. And it looks like the Falcons are trying to run inside again, like everybody has done so far this season, trying to test Joel Miller at that nose guard position and seeing if they can get that one-on-one matchup. But Ethan Pike comes up and stops the Falcon running back. That'll bring up second and short. About a long 3 yards to go for John Glenn. And the Falcons quickly to the ball. Lions show blitz. The carry goes to number 40 for the Falcons, Derek Heiler, and he's taken down for a loss of about a yard. Nice tackle there by Dylan Mullen, wrapping him up and taking him down to the turf there. That'll bring up third down, about 4 yards to go for John Glenn. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Falcons lead the Lions 7-0. Formation shift there for the Falcons. And the handoff goes inside. And he is met by a host of Lions after a gain of about 1, which should bring up fourth down and maybe a yard or 2 for John Glenn. So the Lions defense seems to have responded and forced Glenn to punt here on their second possession. It is fourth and about a yard.
Carry by number 40, Derek Heiler. Stopped on the play by number 33, Eric Nepper.
Heiler was the ball carrier. The tackle was by Eric Nepper. And it looks like the Falcons are going to go for this on fourth and short. So with a field position advantage early, they're going to gamble. And it looks like they're going to be very close. This will come down to where the spot's at. And for where the line judge is running in, it looks like they did not get it. But we'll see where he sets the ball. And slow coming up off the pile. This is very close. They're going to be a measurement here. And so let's take a look at the scoreboard here. Prairie Heights 7, Eastside nothing. St. Joe leads Riley 14-6. Washington over Marion 6-0. And Northridge leads Memorial 6-0. Early scores coming in from around the area. And now let's take a look and see. It looks like he got it by about the nose of the ball. No, first down Lions. And a very close spot there, but a good stop there by the Bremen defense. And it's always nice, Jamal, to see when a 3-5 defense, you only got 3 down linemen, can stop a team running their goal line offense in midfield like that.
Yes.
That's a good place to be. So now Kai Slough brings his offense onto the field in a little better field position. And again, this is down 4-down territory for Bremen. So we'll see what they're able to do with this. I backfield. Looks like Dylan Mullen at fullback with Reed Zelmer in the backfield. 2 receivers. And Holderman goes in motion at the tight end spot, left to right. The snap and the handoff goes to Reed Zelmer, who cuts it outside, makes it down to the sideline, and looks like he's down inside the 20. Actually, just down at the 21-yard line. So that'll move the chains, and the Lions now knocking at the door. Zelmer was tackled by 23 Michael Schmeltz for the Falcons. And now the Lions looking at another first down. Receivers left and right. Pike on the near side. Ryan Zelmer on the far. Schlarb hands off inside to Dylan Mullen, who's stopped short. Gained maybe about a half a yard. He didn't even have a hole there, Jamal, after that handoff. He was looking right into the face of a defensive lineman. So nice job there by Dylan just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was all clogged up there.
Yeah. I'm guessing in that situation either they were running a veer and that the defensive tackle guessed really well or somebody missed a block. But we're looking at 2nd down and 10, split backs. Man in motion. Play fake. And then the pass is complete and down near the first down marker. That looks like Reed Zelmer. Reed Zelmer on the catch. And it looks like... How are they going to spot this? Looks like a first down, and the first down markers move. And now the ball on the 12-yard line, so the Lions have a chance to pick up another first down before they punch it in. Tight end left for the Lions. Man in motion. Handoff goes to Zelmer, and what a good fake there to Mullen that drew the defense in. And now Zelmer down near the first down marker. It should be 2nd down, about 2 yards to go for Bremen. The tackle by Derek Heiler for the Falcons. Now just under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. The Lions trail, Glenn, 7-0, but knocking on the door, having the chance to punch it in and tie this one up. Bremen goes double tight wishbone. And the handoff goes to Zelmer, and he is in. Nice hit as he crosses the goal line, but not before he puts some points on the board, and it is now 6-0. Excuse me, 6-7. The Lions still trailing the Falcons. The kicker is Schlarb. The holder is Jacob Bennett, number 20. And it looks like there was a little movement over there on the right side of the line. Let's see if that was Glenn moving or if it was the Lions. We've got an encroachment penalty against the Falcons. That'll be half the distance to the goal. We'll see whether Bremen will take this. They've declined this at some opportunities so far in the season. And it looks like they will decline it, setting up instead in that comfortable territory. Schlarb again back to kick. Glenn looking aggressive, coming for the block. And Schlarb gets it up just over the outstretched hands of the defense and ties it up now. The kick is good. And Schlarb is now nearly perfect for the season. He is 17 for 18 for the year. And now the Lions 7, Glen 7, 2:31 to play here in the first quarter. You're listening to Bremen football on BroadcastSport.net.
I'm in love with the pizza. All of the time. I'm in love with the pizza.
And we want to thank our sponsors, Bruno's Pizza, for making BroadcastSport.net's coverage of Lion football possible. Bruno's has locations all over the area, but we want to focus you guys on the one over there in Napanee. They are open late on game nights, and we encourage you folks to stop on by or call in, place your order ahead of time. It is the best pizza in Michiana as far as I'm concerned. And now Schlarb set to kick for the Lions.
Schlarb to kick for the Lions.
Schmeltz back deep to return for the Falcons. And Schlarb puts a boot to it. This time it is high and deep, forcing Schmeltz to retreat. And he takes the ball just inside the 10-yard line. He's now across the 30 to the 50. And he's being tracked down by Schlarb, who's able to drag him down just across the 35-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle for Schlarb. And we see a flag coming in. It's a late flag. I think the Glen fans wanted a horseshoe tackle, but there was also a lot of players running onto the field during that situation. So we'll see if they're going to call the horseshoe tackle late or if there's going to be a sideline warning. So Schmeltz took that from the 9 all the way up to the, that'll be a personal foul against the Lions. Horse collar tackle on Bremen.
Very unfortunate at a big run like that.
Yeah, that's you're adding poor play to poor judgment, or poor judgment to poor play right there. And now the Lions are going to be down right near their 10-yard line. So tough spot for the Bremen defense. And we'll look at the Glen offense that's getting out here pretty quick. They've got split backs. The strength of the formation is right here. As Dotson is stacked behind the quarterback. And let's see who the ball carrier was there. The ball carrier was Dotson, who takes the ball down right inside the 10-yard line. It'll be second down and 6 for the Falcons. Joel Miller on the tackle for your Lions. Ethan Pike with the assist. And as we look at Adam Dotson, the Falcons have a fair number of good running backs, as we talked about earlier, Jamal. They got about 3 guys that can get the job done for them, and Dotson is one of them. Now strong left for the Falcons, and the quarterback rolls out. He sees his man open there in the left corner of the end zone, but he overthrows him. And, man, that guy was wide open. Bremen so far, and I think you may have been right a little bit here on our way over here, Jamal. We were talking about do they run or do they pass, and based on the lack of efficiency, I said, well, they're not going to pass the ball much, but they've come out passing so far tonight. And so we'll be third down and about 6.5 yards to go for the Falcons. Power formation right. The handoff goes to Heiler, the ball carrier, across the 5-yard line. And it's going to be fourth down and short for the Falcons. And we'll see, will they test the Lions defense again, or this is might be a good spot to see a field goal attempt. Reed Zelmer on the tackle for the Lions. And again, we've seen Reed, even though he's missed 4 games, he's one of the leading tacklers on this Lions team as well. But here comes the Glen offense. They go left, and he is stopped again. And if the Glen coaching staff saw the Jimtown game last week, they saw that this Bremen defense has the ability to stop teams in short yardage, to stop good running teams. And here they've gone at them twice and been stopped twice here early in the game. So Bremen will take over on downs 1st and 10, right about the 5-yard line. Backed up into their own end zone, and this is one of those spots I did not enjoy being in as a blocker, Jamal. You got to give your running back some room to run. You got to give your quarterback room to throw, and I don't like having that goal line right behind my heels. But Bremen goes tight end right, and the handoff goes to Zelmer, who's out across the 10-yard line, picks up about 6 on the carry. I'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Lions.
Carried by number 34, Reed Zelmer.
It was Reed Zelmer on the carry.
By number 2, Zach Combs. And number 6,
Zach Combs
Adam Dotson.
and Adam Dodson on the tackle for the Falcons. And as the first quarter comes to an end here, we've got a spread formation from the Lions. Handoff goes to
Ethan
Ryan.
Pike.
Is that Ryan Zelmer, I believe, on the carry? But he is stopped for no gain. And so it'll be 3rd down and 2, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. It was Ryan Zelmer. And that will be it.
Carried by number 5, Ryan Zelmer. Tackled by number 58, Hunter Schumann.
And so they'll switch ends of the field here, and we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with you in just a second. This is BroadcastSport.net's coverage of Bremen football.
Bremen 7.
And we'd like to thank Coffle Construction, among all of our great sponsors tonight. Coffle Construction is good to support Bremen football in so many ways, and we appreciate them making tonight's broadcast possible. Also want to thank the good folks at Wings Etc., other members of that Coffle family down there in Plymouth, bringing up some hot wings for us here in the press box tonight, so thank you so much for that as well. And the Bremen offense comes back to the field. 3rd down, about 4 yards to go. And throwing in some new wrinkles on the offense this week with a spread formation. Some really tight slots were in the game earlier. But now Bremen goes receivers left and right. Bennett on the near side. Holderman goes in motion. And the handoff this time goes to Reed Zelmer, who's out across the 1st down marker. And picks up a gain of about 5 yards. So nice run there on 3rd and short for Reed. And he moves the chains again.
Carried by number 34, Reed Zelmer. Stopped on the play by number 23, Michael Smelt.
Michael Smelt's on the tackle for the Falcons. And Bremen now has a little momentum going. It picked up a 1st down. And now sending 4 wide receivers. With the single back is Dylan Mullen. The handoff goes to Mullen. And he picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards on the carry. And he has been really effective so far this year, Jamal. Dylan has not gotten a ton of carries, but just like Reed Zelmer has done, he's been very efficient.
Number 83, Dylan Mullen. Stopped on the play by number 6, Adam Dotson.
Adam Dodson and Derek Heiler on the tackle for the Falcons. But as I said, Mullen has only gotten 160 yards, but he's averaging over 6 yards per carry. And the ball goes this time to Zelmer, who is stopped short and maybe lost about a yard on the carry. That'll bring a 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for Bremen. 10 minutes, 42 seconds to play here in the second quarter. And it'll be 3rd and 4. So the Glen defense really wanting to get a stop here. And we'll see what they'll do. They have 5 down linemen here. And the pitch goes wide right. Ball on the ground, but the ball is recovered by Bremen. Zach Ricketts does a good job of falling on the ball and keeping possession to give Bremen a chance to punt here. And it's really not like Mullen to put the ball on the ground like that, but right when that pitch was getting there, good job there by the Glen defender to be in there to break that up, not just to make the tackle, but to cause a loss of about another 3 yards. So it'll be 4th down and about 12 to go. Schlar back to kick. And the Glen return man with his heels on the 45. The kick is deep, and it hits a Glen return man, but he's able to fall on it right inside the 50. So the Falcons will take over 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. And very favorable there for Glen. The ball did hit one of their men, but he was able to fall on it quickly before Bremen could come down and recover. So the Falcons starting in their own territory again, and this is not the kind of field position that you want to have against a good running team like John Glen, Jamal, because Glen, as we've seen already so far tonight, will go for it on 4th down almost anywhere on the field. Carry goes inside to Zach Combs, and we have a flag on the play after the play. A little talking going on down there possibly. Miller on the tackle for the Lions, and it looks like the flag is against Bremen as they're negotiating with the offensive captain for the Falcons. They're going to mark off defensive holding, it looks like, for Bremen. 15-yard penalty. It's going to be personal foul. And so that'll move the chains 15 yards, give the Falcons a 1st down. And again, killing ourselves so far tonight with penalties, Jamal. It really hasn't hurt us because we've been able to keep them out of the end zone on a couple of occasions. But really, not the kind of positions you want to be putting yourself in early in this game. Single back and man in motion for the Falcons. The ball goes inside to number 40. And Joel Miller on the tackle for the Lions. Ball carrier was Heiler for the Falcons, and he gains about a half a yard.
Carried by number 40, Derek Tyler. Stopped on the play once again by Joel Miller, number 22.
Into the game comes Tyler Koffel to spot, looks like Mullen at defensive end, or are we going to a 4? No, Mullen is out. No, Mullen is still in. He's coming at nose guard, taking out Miller. And good job there. Nice screen pass for the Falcons. And their coaching staff is doing a good job of mixing things up tonight so far. So the pass has been more effective than the run for the Falcons. As we saw, there wasn't a whole lot of pass effectiveness for Glen so far this season. And so you had to expect that Bremen's coaching staff would come in prepared for the run. But so far it's been the pass for the Falcons. 1st down pickup, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Single backs, man in motion, and a pitch goes to the receiver, who is down inside the 15 near the 10-yard line, and Bobby Cornett on the tackle for the Lions coming up from safety support. Near another 1st down, it's 2nd down, about 3 yards to go. Heiler on the tackle for the Falcons again. And so with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play here in the 1st half, Glen is inside the red zone on the Lions as they are all tied up 7-7 here in Walkerton. Glen goes split backs, power left. Man in motion right, and the handoff again goes to Heiler, who gets not much on 2nd and short, but is it enough for a 1st down? and it appears not. It looks like third and about 2, so about no gain on the carry for Heiler. Miller on the tackle for the Lions. And looks like the officials are slowing down. They're stopping the clock here, and we're going to measure it again. So another one of these classic battles, Jamal. As we've said, the last couple of years between Bremen, this is the 36th overall meeting between these two schools. The Lions lead the series 27-8 and have won the last 2. But since 1998, Glenn leads the series 8-7. And there have been some real barn burners during the last 7 years. Bremen won in 2005, a high-scoring game, 43-40. That sounds more like a Northern State Conference basketball game. Won by 10 in 2007, and then that classic double overtime game here in 2008. A 33-28 win for the Lions in 2010, and then last year's game, which we'll talk about here in a second. And so on what was third and short, the Falcons seem to have picked up a first down. Lidke, the ball carrier, quarterback sneak on third and short, and he's able to pick up the first down just outside the 10-yard line. So for all intents and purposes, it is first and goal for the Lions. First and goal for the Falcons. And Lidke comes trotting out looking a little gimpy to lead his goal line offense here. 7 minutes to play here in the second. 7-7. The Lions tied with the Falcons. And the pitch, again, goes to Heiler, who is taken down by Joel Miller, who is quick off the snap to get there from his nose tackle position. Looks like he's brought him down for a loss of about 2 yards. And you got to love it, Jamal, when you got a guy playing nose tackle who can move that fast that he's going to catch a man in motion out there on the corner. So Miller and Eric Nepper on the tackle for a loss for the Lions. Falcons spread it out a bit. Back to pass, and the pass goes out to the flat. It looks like he's caught the ball but didn't pick up much there. The receiver was strong for the Falcons. So Strong picks up about 5 yards on the carry, but that'll make it third down and about 7 or 8 to go for the Falcons. And again, another possible passing situation for John Glenn. And Bremen's defensive backs really need to step it up here tonight. They probably didn't think they were going to get much of a workout tonight, but so far, lots of passing for John Glenn. And this one overthrown as Jacob Bennett cuts off the receiver, and it is deep outside. So that'll make it fourth down and 8 yards to go, basically goal to go. And it looks like Glenn's going to try to kick a field goal here after being stopped on fourth down twice already tonight. They're going to see if they can't pick up some sort of advantage. So 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Again, the Lions tied 7-7 with the Falcons here at John Glenn. And let's see what they come out with. Yep, looks like they're going to set up for the field goal attempt. And you always have to be wary for the fake here, Jamal. And Bremen looks like they're ready. They're going to let them have this kick attempt. And the spot was a little slow, but it is good. And so 5:35 here in the second. It's 10 for the Falcons, 7 for your Lions, and we'll take a break here for just a second. You are listening to Bremen football here on BroadcastSports.net.
Are you a high school or middle school athlete looking to separate yourself from the pack? If you need that extra push to achieve your athletic goals, give Performance One a try. Performance One was created to take athletes to the next level, both mentally and physically. Our innovative and cutting-edge training methods are designed to challenge athletes and push them to achieve their peak performance. With both private and group training sessions, we can help take your game to the next level. Visit our website at www.p1training.com. That's www.p1training.com.
now the Falcons kicking off to Bremen. The ball goes deep and down to Jacob Bennett at the 8-yard line. Bennett out across the 20, and he is wrapped up and taken down by a whole surge of Falcon defenders there. And so Bremen now on offense, having just given up the field goal. But not a bad situation there, Jamal. Hurt again by bad field position, hurt again by some penalties. The Bremen defense able to not give up a touchdown again in the red zone. So they've been very good with their red zone efforts over the last 2 weeks against two very good running teams. So 1st and 10, Bremen just on the short side of the 20-yard line. 5 minutes and a half to play here in the first half. Split backs for Bremen are Reed Zelmer and Dylan Mullen. And the fake toss goes to Mullen, and the handoff goes inside to Zelmer. Reed with a pickup of about 6 on first down. Adam Dodson on the tackle for the Falcons. And it's 2nd down and 4 for Bremen. Receivers for the Lions. Ryan Zelmer on the near side, Pike on the far. Again, split backs. Tight end right. Schlarb back to pass. And he goes deep, looking to Ethan Pike, but it is defended. And excuse me, that was Kai Slough back to pass. Michael Schmeltz on defense for the Falcons. And I'd say Pike's got to do a little better job of coming back for that ball there. When you're sitting there waiting on the ball, you've got to come back and make some distance between yourself and the defensive back. And he just sat there for a little bit. So we'll see what the Lions have here on 3rd and short. The handoff goes inside to Zelmer, and nothing doing. Glenn stacked it up in the middle, and that'll make it 4th down and 4 to go for Bremen, and they'll be punting yet again. So Glenn has to feel fairly encouraged here. They've had some good returns so far tonight. Bremen's not done a good job of kick coverage. And they've been in the long field all night. Glenn's had good field position, and now with a 10-7 lead, they're going to have a chance again to extend this lead before the half. Schlarb back to kick. He's got time, and he gets it away. It is a high booming kick again, and this time it hits the ground and rolls again for the line advantage across the 50 down to the 42-yard line, where John Glenn will take over with just less than 4 minutes to play here in the first half. And so I'd say that Bremen defense has got to be getting a little tired out there right now, Jamal. They've played a lot of snaps so far. The offense has not really put together a drive to keep them off the field, just that one drive. And other than that, they've been going 3 and out and punting. So we'll see if Glenn might try to speed things up here a little bit and take advantage of keeping the Lions on the field. Handoff goes to the first man, who is down across the first down marker. Picks up about 15 yards on the carry. Looks like Adam Dodson on the carry for John Glenn.
Carried by number 6, Adam Dodson. Stopped on the play by number 34, Reed Zelmer.
And Reed Zelmer and Ethan Pike on the tackle for Bremen. First down, Falcons at the Bremen 45-yard line. Lidge brings in the play for the Falcons, and they jog up to the line. Man in motion for the Falcons, and they kick it outside. A pickup, almost a first down yardage again, and now the running game for the Falcons starting to get some traction here. So gain of 9 for Dotson, the ball carrier. Zach Zimmer on his first tackle of the night for Bremen, and it'll be 2nd down and 1 yard to go. 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter. John Glenn leads your Lions 10-7 here from Walkerton. Double wing formation, and the quarterback sneak for the Falcons. Looks like he's got the first down yardage, and he did. Picked up about 3 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 Falcons. And Litke's been fairly successful at running the ball so far tonight, but he's also been taking some hits, and you see he's not running too well right now. You got to start asking yourself how many of those hits you want your quarterback taking when he's getting up as, I wouldn't say he's getting up slow, but he's looking a little beat up after carrying. So, man in motion again for the Falcons, and back to pass is Litke. Pass is complete out to the left flat, and the man loses his feet and is brought down with the defensive pressure by Jacob Bennett. So a gain of about a yard on the play. Jake Strong on the reception for the Falcons. And that'll make it 2nd down and a long 8 yards to go. Just at the 2-minute warning here in the first half. And the Falcons lead Bremen 10-7. Nice reverse there, scissors play, and a good cut there. Down near the goal line, down across the 10-yard line, I should say, was Zach Combs, who took the scissors play and bounced it back outside for a pickup of about 25 yards there. Pike on the tackle, and Miller with the assist. And now it is 1st and goal again for the Falcons. Clock is running, under a minute to play, and Coach Holmes not choosing to use any timeouts right now, so possibly hoping the Falcons will run out of time. Combs in motion again, handoff this time goes inside, and tackle nearly made, but across the goal line goes Adam Dodson. So he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but powers through and puts 6 on the board. It is now 16-7. John Glenn leads Bremen here late in the 2nd quarter. That's touchdown for Dodson. And now on the field to kick for the Falcons is Michael Schmelz. And he gets it up, and it is good. So now 17-7. And now Bremen's in a little bit of trouble here, down 2 scores already late in the second quarter with 1:19 to play. We'll see if they can respond here before halftime and go in decent conditions. I know the Lions did a good job of moving the ball under pressure against Jimtown last week, but so far tonight have not been able to pick up any first downs against this Falcon defense. I'm guessing that Schmelz here is going to put this ball on the ground and get it to bounce here a little bit, not going to try to give Bremen an opportunity to return it. And so hopefully the Lions will start with some decent field position. But the kick is deep. It goes to Bennett on the left side, who takes it at the 11, out across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and he's got the end zone in front of him, down to the 30, the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he is in. Touchdown, Bremen. Jacob Bennett for the Lions goes 91 yards on the return. So with 1 minute, 5 seconds to go, Bremen scores, narrowing the gap, and there are no flags on the play. And that's the way to respond right there from the Lions special teams. I was about to say, Jamal, we had not had a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown so far this season, and in exactly the right time to shift the momentum here and send Bremen into the locker room with some hope. A great play there by Jacob Bennett. Now Bennett the holder, Schlarb the kicker looking for the extra point, and onto the field running in late is Porter for the Falcons for the kick defense. And into the line late and there's going to be a substitution penalty on the Falcons for having 12 men on the field. I don't think Bremen's going to take the penalty, though, like they've continued to decline these on these PAT attempts. Although with a 3-point lead and Bremen not being a team to kick field goals, maybe we'll take this as a chance to go for 2. Who knows? Let's see what Coach Holmes has to say. If they're going to kick it, I imagine they'll decline. If they're going to go for 2, they'll take the penalty. And it looks like we're going to stay with the plan. Illegal substitution penalty is declined, and Bremen will go for the extra point. So Bennett the holder, Schlarb the kicker. And the snap is back. The hold is good, and the kick is high and through the uprights. Bremen now within 3 at 17-14.
By Lucas Schlarb on the hold of Jacob Bennett. Makes the score. John Glenn 17, Bremen 14.
And so it is senior night here at John Glenn. They're going to be having the senior athletes and parents at halftime out here, so we may have a halftime extended a little longer than we're used to. Scores coming in from around the area. St. Joe leads Riley 28-9. Mishawaka and Washington are tied at 22 at halftime. West Noble leads Fremont 14-13 at halftime, and Culver Academy is over Fairfield 6-0. Jimtown pounded on Triton in the second quarter 29-7. New Prairie 12, Knox 6 in the second. And Northridge 12, Elkhart Memorial nothing in the second quarter. But Lucas Schlarb set to kick for the Lions. It is on the ground. Takes a nice bounce there. It's muffed at the 20 and now fielded down at the 10. And a tackle there, shoestring tackle by Caleb Walter, doing a good job there on the return, getting down and bringing down the return man. That was Michael Schmeltz on the return for John Glenn, and now the Falcons will have just under a minute to play here in the first half. Let's see if they, I believe they still have 2 of their 3 timeouts, and we'll see if they try to run the field with about 84 yards to go for a touchdown. Handoff goes inside to Dodson. And timeout called here by who? Timeout Bremen. I like this. I've always been a big fan of not going to half with your timeouts. If you can use those to get the ball back and score here, this is good clock management by Coach Holmes and Coach Campbell over there. Glenn didn't come out and try to take advantage by passing or doing clock management, so Bremen says, hey, if you don't want it, we'll take the ball back. We'll see if we can't score again here. So Glenn, after this timeout, will be facing a second down and about 7.5 or 8 yards to go. .3 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Bremen trails 17-14 at Walkerton. And as we break from the timeout, the Lions 3-5. We'll see if they can't stop Glenn on these next two plays and force him to punt. Your defense out there, of course, led by Bobby Cornett, the senior safety, with defensive backs Jacob Bennett and Reed Zelmer. Your linebackers are Ethan Pike, Josh Fox, and the run inside by the John Glenn running back. He is stopped again, and Bremen again takes a timeout. It'll be third down, about 4.5 yards, about 4 to go. And now there are 45.7 seconds to play here in the second quarter. And again, I like this aggressive clock management by Coach Holmes. It slows it down for us here a little bit and gives us a little bit of dead air. It's kind of hard to fill all this up when we don't have a color guy here tonight. But what are you thinking so far, Jamal? You a little surprised, or is this about what you expected coming into the game tonight?
I didn't expect Bremen to be down right away, but hopefully they get back together in the second half.
Well, it seems like we're doing the right stuff to turn things around a little bit. The defense seems determined to get a stop here, and Coach Holmes not willing to go into the half with timeouts left and some points possible that we could put on the board. I've seen too many coaches go to halftime happy that they just kind of recollected themselves, but Coach Holmes wants the lead here. And so formation shift for the Falcons. They go strong left and run right. And man cuts inside and picks up a first down, so that should be the end of things unless Glenn wants to use their timeouts here and extend play just under 30 yards, just under 40 seconds to go. Zach Combs on the carry for the Falcons. Jacob Bennett on the tackle. And it'll be 1st and 10 for John Glenn at the 35-yard line. 65 yards to go to score here as the clock is running, now under 35 seconds. No hurry here for the Falcons. Man in motion, and the handoff is to the slot receiver. He nearly breaks it and is brought down by the Lions defensive backs. Zelmer and Bennett on the tackle. 22 seconds to play. Ball carrier was Heiler for the Falcons, and now 1st and 10 again, this time at the Bremen 40-yard line. Single back, double wing formation for the Falcons, now under 20 seconds, and 2 men in motion, so this play will be coming back. And unfortunately for Glenn, I don't think they get that time back on the clock. So now 12.9 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Penalty is illegal shift as 2 men were in motion at the time of the snap of the ball. That'll make 1st down and 10. That'll turn into a 1st and 15. And with just under 13 seconds to play, I think you got 3 shots maybe at this. If they can throw some incomplete passes and manage the clock. But Glenn will take a timeout. So we'll take a break here real quick. Thank you for listening to Lion Football here on BroadcastSport.net. We want to thank our friends at The Dugout for sponsoring Bremen football. The Dugout in South Bend on Lincoln Way West can handle all of your embroidery needs. They also sell all of the area's letter jackets. So if you want to thank them for supporting high school football here on BroadcastSport.net, go visit our friends at The Dugout on Lincoln Way West in South Bend. Coming off the timeout, Glenn now faces 1st down and 15. Leading the Lions by 3 here just before halftime. The toss goes to the man in motion as he goes left and is able to make a cut across the 30-yard line. And now down to 6.3 seconds to play here in the first half. It'll be another John Glenn first down. Heiler the carrier. Jacob Bennett the tackler for Bremen. And another timeout for the Falcon. That'll be their last timeout. And so a little drama going into the last few minutes of the half. Here on this, the final regular season game and final Northern State Conference game of the year for both of these teams. This is sort of the game for third place tonight, as first place is firmly held by the Jimtown Jimmies, who have pretty much been untested except maybe during the second half of last week's game against Bremen. So with a win over Triton tonight, Jimtown will lock up the regular season, or will lock up the championship, and second place, New Prairie, is firmly ensconced in that position as well. So here we go. First down for the Falcons, about 30 yards to go to the end zone, and the pass is intercepted by the one-handed bandit, Bobby Cornett, who is up the sideline, able to cut it back, and got a nice return there. That will be the last play of the half. But Cornett picks up the interception down around the 10-yard line and advances it for a gain of about 35 yards on that one. So nice last play of the half. Good way to wrap things up there for Bremen here in the first half. So halftime score from Walkerton. John Glenn leads your Lions 17-14. And we'll take a break for a little bit, but we'll be back here just before the second half with scores and some highlights possibly from all over Michiana. We appreciate you listening, and if you want to give us some feedback on the broadcast, just let us know that you're listening. Please give us an email at sales@broadcastsport.net. Again, that's sales@broadcastsport.net. For Jamal Baldwin, I'm Jesse Bohannon coming to you from Walkerton. We'll take a break here and rejoin you at the end of halftime. This is Bremen football on broadcastsport.net.
Chase is escorted by Gary and Teresa Fairley.
in bloom. The PR transmissions will resume. I try to push, try to keep us all down and hope that we will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, another package like to keep us trapped in greed. All green belts wrapped around our minds, and endless red tape to keep the truth confined.
And that was the John Glenn Marching Band there. We're just wrapping up halftime here from Walkerton. I'm Jesse Bohannon with Jamal Baldwin. Bremen football, the last regular season game. Lions trailed John Glenn 14-7 at halftime. And a couple of big plays for the Lions in the first half. Touchdown run by Reed Zelmer, and a kickoff return for 91 yards with about 2 minutes to play for the defensive back, Jacob Bennett. And he got us back into a spot where we're able to be within just 3 points here at halftime after suffering some really bad field position for most of the first half, and John Glenn moving the ball fairly effectively. So Bremen yet was still able to stop the Falcons on fourth down twice and force some turnovers, or it could have been much worse. So the Bremen defense again stepping up and doing the job despite bad field position in the first half. So the teams are back on the field and we're getting ready to start second half play. Looking ahead a little bit to next week to the sectionals. The Lions will travel the long road down US 31 to Lewis Cass High School to face a fairly tough Cass Kings team, one who has knocked us out of the playoffs a couple of times in the last 6 years. Maybe it'll be a little better to visit down there to Cass as opposed to having them come up here. We've been more successful with them historically playing Cass at their place, so it'll be nice to make a return visit down there. So we'll see what adjustments Coach Holmes' squad has made. I saw they were trying to run some new plays tonight that we haven't seen in the past and didn't go extremely well. The split backs and some of the counter out of our split backs went pretty well here in the first half, but not everything. And maybe they'll tighten those up a little bit, get a little bit more success out of that, or maybe go back to our bread and butter somewhat. But not a lot of passing from the Lions tonight. A lot of running from Mullen and Reed Zelmer. And it looks like we've got a delay of game penalty on Glenn, and I guess their halftime show went a little long, and so they're going to take a 5-yard penalty to start the second half here on the kickoff. So hopefully that'll be good for the Lion return team. Again, the last time Jacob Bennett touched this ball, he took it 91 yards to pay dirt. He is back deep with Eric Nepper, the other deep back. Michael Smelts to kick off for the Falcons. And the ball goes down around the 15-yard line. It is misestimated by Bennett, who bobbles it again and gets it up just across the 10-yard line. So not a good way to start the second half after receiving a penalty. Probably might even have been better to not have had that penalty altogether. But the Lions will take over. First and 10 from the 14-yard line. Kai Slough and the Lion offense onto the field. Slough sends out two receivers. Ryan Zelmer to the near side, Ethan Pike to the far, split backs. And the misdirection, and quarterback keeper looking down the field and throws over the head of Reed Zelmer. So good time there, a good play action fake by the Lion offense, but not enough time to get Reed open. And so it'll be second down, 10 yards to go. The Lions with the ball on the 14-yard line. Just underway here in the second half. Bremen football versus John Glenn from Walkerton. Again, it's Pike on the far side. Ryan Zelmer on the near. And play action fake goes downfield to Pike, complete for 12 yards and the first down. And that is really the first time we've seen Ethan Pike get that open in the last couple of weeks, Jamal. So a good job to go back to him. And he has been our bread and butter all year long. Last week against Jimtown was, I believe, the first time since, the first time in a long time that he hadn't had a touchdown pass in the game. So it's nice to see Ethan getting back involved in the offense. And I think we might have run it just a little bit too much during the first half. Good time to get back to the pass here early in the third quarter. Holderman in motion for the Lions. And Slough hands off inside to Reed Zelmer, who breaks a tackle and is in the open. He's across the 50, the 45, down to the 40-yard line where he is tripped up. And the official gets knocked down there around the 30-yard line. So Reed Zelmer for a carry of, looked like he went for about 24 yards there. And the ball is right there on the 40-yard line. Andrew Hensley for John Glenn on the tackle. And the Lions have some emotion in their offense now a little bit. Got to be excited to be out here in the third quarter moving the football. So again, I formation for the Lions. Mullen and Zelmer. Holderman in motion. And the handoff fake inside to Mullen, outside to Zelmer. And it looks like a holding penalty here. Downfield for the Lions was Taylor Yoder, and it looks like they didn't like his block down here. So nice pickup for Ryan up near the first down marker, but it'll be coming back. Yes, holding is the penalty. Christian Porter was in on the tackle for the Falcons. But it looks like they will spot the foul from the spot and back the Lions up. And they are backing it up deep. It'll be a loss of about 11 yards on the play. It'll be first down. About 21 to go. 11 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Bremen trails Glenn 17-14. Ball at the 49-yard line, 51 to go for the touchdown. And Lions go 4 wide. Single back is Mullen. Zelmer in motion. And the play fake goes deep to Pike, who is unable to shake his defender, but picks up about 15, 16 yards on the play. And that'll make it second down and short for Bremen. Up around the 35-yard line. So nice pickup there, Jamal, on first and 21 to get 16 of those yards back. That's a good spot to be. I will say dangerous motion there for Reed Zelmer, as it looked to me like he was moving towards the line of scrimmage on that motion route before the snap. But hey,
you gotta watch that going forward. The referee will call it.
Yep, and we've got it called on us a lot in the last couple of years, but they missed it on that one. So the handoff goes inside to Zelmer again, and he is across the first down marker for a gain of about 9 yards. Be first down 10 for Bremen, down around the 25-yard line. Adam Dodson on the tackle for John Glenn. I formation again for the Lions. Bennett on the far side. Zelmer on the near. Holderman goes in motion. And the handoff is again to Zelmer, who picks up about 1.5 yards on the carry. It'll be second down and about 8.5 to go for Bremen.
Carried by number 34, Reed Zelmer. Tackled by number 72, Jacob Ayers.
Jacob Ayers, the 5'11", 250-pound defensive lineman, on the tackle for John Glenn. Lions set again in the eye. Slough pitches right to Zelmer, and great block there by Yoder, freeing Zelmer, who gets up across the 10-yard line, picks up the first down, and it'll be first and goal for Bremen with 9:16 to play here in the third.
Carried by number 34, Reed Zelmer for the Lions. Tackled by number 40, Terry Kyler of the Falcons. First down, Bremen.
So goal line offense for the Lions. They go to the wishbone, tight end right. Actually, it's double tight. And this time the handoff goes inside to Eric Nepper, who picks up about 5 yards on the carry. That'll make it 2nd down and goal from just inside the 5-yard line. And nice to see Eric getting a touch tonight. He hasn't seen the ball much since Zellmer's been back from injury. But Zellmer did a good, Nepper did a good job filling in for 4 weeks towards the middle of the season. Again, wishbone, double tight for the Lions. Handoff goes to Zellmer, who is down near the goal line, and he's across. Touchdown Lions, touchdown Reed Zellmer. He'll make it 20-17 Bremen with 8 minutes, 26 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And the extra point by Schlarb is good. That'll make it 21-17 Bremen.
Extra point, good by Lucas Schlarb. On the hold of Jacob Bennett makes the score. Bremen 21, John Glenn 17.
Introducing the new Share Everything plan. Unlimited talk, unlimited text, and a single pool of shareable data. It's the plan that revolves around you. And now get $100 off select Motorola 4G LTE smartphones like the Droid Razr. Now only $99.99 after $50 mail-in rebate debit card and $50 instant savings. Only from Verizon. And perfect for back to school. Visit any Verizon store, VerizonWireless.com/sale, or call 1-800-256-4646. Requires new 2-year activation. Upgrade, early termination, and other fees may apply. Coverage details at VerizonWireless.com/bestnetwork.
And Lucas Schlarb ready to kick it off for the Lions to get this thing started again here. And he boots it shallow this time on the ground and fielded at the 21 by the Glen return man up across the 30 and near the 35. Looks like Dotson again for the Falcons.
And Dotson on the return for the Falcons.
1st and 10 for John Glenn at the 34-yard line. Josh Fox on the tackle for the Lions. And the cold really setting in. Last week it was cold and rainy. Tonight it's just cold, and I think we're going to have football weather for the rest of the season here. Handoff again looks like to Dotson again for the Falcons. And it sounds like Ryan Zellmer on the tackle for the Lions, a gain of 1. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 yards to go for the Falcons on offense. Just under 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Bremen leads Glen 21-17. And the 3-5 out there for the Lions. Joel Miller there over the nose guard. Handoff goes again to Dotson, who picks up about 2 on the carry. 3rd down and about 7. Miller on the tackle for Bremen. And actually, Eric Nepper credited for the tackle for Bremen. And the Lions defense wanting some noise on a key 3rd down here. If they can shut the door and take the ball back, they will have firmly established control momentum here in the 2nd half. Back to pass for the Falcons. It is complete to Zach Combs, who was just across the 1st down marker. Gain of about 7 yards, maybe 8 on a 3rd and 7. Jacob Bennett on the tackle for the Lions. And it'll be first down and 10 to go for the Falcons on their own 46-yard line. Again, spread formation, motion from the Falcons. Handoff goes to Dodson, who was nearly wrapped up and is going to be dragged down. No, he fights into the end zone. And great run there for Adam Dodson to take the lead back for the Falcons. So a run of 54 yards by Adam Dodson. The 5'10", 170-pound fullback. He is a sophomore, so expect to see lots from Adam Dodson in years to come. He puts the Falcons back up 23-21 with the extra point pending. And as we expected, as we've seen the last 5 or 6 years back and forth here between the Lions and the Falcons, never an easy contest here in Walkerton. And it's now 24-21 with 6 minutes, 43 seconds to play here in the third quarter. And so will Bremen bounce back? Will they come back swinging again? Will this be another one of those games where we're going to have scores in the high 30s or 40s, as we've seen often in this series recently? It's always exciting, that's for sure. Scores coming in again. Mishawaka 36, South Bend, Washington 22 in the third. Penn leads Adams 16-6 in the third. Concord 14, Warsaw 7, still in the second quarter, and Jimtown has put Triton away. Now 49-7 in the third quarter. New Prairie over Knox 26-6 in the third. And interesting game at Plymouth. The Rockies lead Northwood 17-14 in the third quarter. So we will see here if Bremen can get a little better return than they did the last time. Pinned inside the 15 last time we saw the ball. And the kick is deep, down around the 10-yard line, fielded by Bennett, and he breaks it up across the 30 for a return of about 13 or 14 yards. And so the Lions start their drive in a relatively good field position at the 34-yard line. Guy Slough at quarterback. Dylan Mullen and Reed Zelmer are the running backs. Fake to Mullen and the reverse. Reed Zelmer and lead blockers, and he has got room to spare here up on the sideline, and he is able to get down across the 35-yard line, down near the 30, and great change of pace there for the Lions. Good job by the lead blockers to avoid hitting anybody in the back, because there were a couple opportunities out there, and they steered clear of it. So good wrinkle there from Coach Holmes and the offense, and good execution there for Ryan Zelmer, stepping up with a big play on the reverse. Oh, excuse me, Ethan. Was it Pike?
Yeah.
Okay, it was Pike. You got to correct me when I'm wrong like that. So I believe that's Pike's first carry of the year, and a nice one at that. Looked like he picked up about 33 yards. And so now Pike's still on the field. He's on the far side. Here on the near is Ryan Zelmer. Split backs this time. And the tight end is right for the offense. Slough back to pass. Looking at Zelmer. Throwing deep, and he's going to have to fight for it. He just misjudged that a little bit because he was wide open there, and just missed it. So good pass there by Slough, and a good route by Ryan Zelmer, but unable to haul it in. That'll bring up second down and 10 for the Lions.
That was Pike, wasn't it?
The 5 and the 6 are hard to tell apart out there. That's why I got my contacts out. Here we go, I formation again. Holderman in motion left. And Slough hands off to Zelmer, who picks up about 2.5 on the carry. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 7. 6 minutes, 5 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Bremen trails John Glenn, 21-24.
Carried by number 34, Reed Zelmer. Tackled by number 72, Jacob Ayers.
Jacob Ayers on Glenn for Glenn's defense on the tackle on that last play. 3rd and 7 for the Bremen offense. Split backs. Pike to the far. Zelmer to the near. And we look at a play-action pass. Quickly thrown and nearly intercepted there. Not a good move there by... anytime you're on your back heel and fading like that, you want to throw that away or out of bounds, not try to complete it. So...
Reed Zelmer, broken up by Zach Cone. Brings up 4th down for the Lions.
And so it'll be 4th down for Bremen, but this is 4-down territory. And we will see what Coach Holmes and the offense has here. At the 30, this is too far for a field goal, but you don't want to punt it here either. And so they'll go with this unusual spread formation again. Zelmer in motion. Slough back to pass, and he looks to Holderman, who nearly drops the ball, and it is incomplete. So the Lions go for it on 4th and 8 and come up short. Turn the ball over on downs, and the Falcons will take over with a 3-point lead. 5 minutes and 29 seconds to play in the 3rd, and John Glenn will start with their offense on the 30-yard line. Substitutions coming in for the Falcons. And again, quarterback Lidge still seems to be a little hobbled out there, moving a little slow. Bremen not able to get much pressure on him yet tonight, though. And Dodson running hard, breaking through the Bremen front line and up to the 35 for a gain of about 5 yards.
Adam Dodson, number 6 on the carry for the Falcons. Tackled by Reed Zelmer.
Reed Zelmer on the tackle for the Lions, approaching 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. And so Bremen is going to have to figure a way to get some pressure on the quarterback here. They've had too much time to throw, and haven't seen many Lions in the backfield so far tonight. Reversal here goes to Combs again for a 1st down for the Falcons. And again, nothing tricky here. So the same kind of thing that you see from Jimtown. John Glenn just continues to go with their straight ahead running, and then their slot receivers and their wing backs coming in on those inside runs there. So Bremen just is going to have to figure a way to get ahead on those guys as they're coming through the line. Lidge sets his offense. Tight formation for the Falcons. Power left. And inside handoff goes nowhere this time, as the Lions were able to bottle it up for a gain of about a yard. Dodson, the ball carrier. And the tackle looks to be Josh Fox for the Lions. And actually they're giving the tackle to Ethan Pike. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. Under 4 minutes here in the 3rd. Lions trail 21-24. And this time Bremen sends the backers. Quick pass away. And an incomplete upfield brings up 3rd down and long. And again, key down here. Bremen has said all night long this is where we want the Glenn offense to be. Obvious passing situation. They're here on the long side of the field. And if we can force an incompletion here or stop them short, force a punt and give the offense a chance to get back on the field. So good stand here so far for the Lions defense. Let's see what they've got on 3rd and 9. Lions stacked close to the line of scrimmage. And the reversal goes inside, and he's stacked up after a gain of about 3 yards, brought down 6 yards short of the first down marker, and this should be a punting situation for the Falcons. Combs the ball carrier, and it looks like the tackle shared by Fox, and
Zach Combs on the carry, tackle for number 7, Josh Fox.
and 4th down and 6 to go for John Glenn. Back to punt are the Falcons, and deep for the Lions should be Reed Zelmer, and it is. Ball bounces down around the 25-yard line, where it is down by John Glenn. That's where Bremen will take over when we come back with just under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. The Lions trail John Glenn 21-24.
I'm a lover of the pizza all of the time. I'm a lover of the pizza. That's what I'm saying.
Again, we thank Bruno's Pizza for sponsoring Northern State Conference football here on BroadcastSport.net. And the carry goes to Reed Zelmer, who's wrapped up pretty close to the line of scrimmage. If he gained anything, it's about a yard, maybe a yard and a half or two. And that'll give us second down and about 8 yards to go for Bremen.
Number on the carry for the Lions, tackle by number 13, Justin Garolowski of the Falcons.
Justin Garolowski, the tackler for the Falcons. He's a 6'1", 200-pound defensive end, wrapping up Zelmer on that last carry. And again, the handoff inside is faked, and the flip goes to Zelmer, but there is a holding penalty on the play, and he should probably just go down right now because he's going to wear himself out to get nothing out of it. So Zelmer crosses the goal line, but there's a flag down near the 30-yard line on the far end of the field. If the play stands, it would be a 73-yard touchdown for Zelmer. The flag is holding on the Lions. And so back it up. Although it always feels good to put the ball in the end zone, regardless of whether it gets called back or not. That gives you a little confidence and a reminder that you can do it. I've seen a whole lot of times when you come right back and do it again on the next play. So Bremen's going to back up here a little bit, though. 2nd and 8 will become, about 2nd and 15. And we're now under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. I backfield again for Bremen. Mullen and Reed Zelmer. And fake handoff again. Now Slough looks down the field and connects with, I believe that's Pike over there. Yes, completion good to Ethan Pike for a pickup of about 9 yards.
Number 6, Ethan Pike, tackle by number 23, Michael Smeltz.
Michael Smeltz on the tackle for the Falcons, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Bremen. Quiet crowds tonight here in Walkerton. The cold is, the fans have not quite gotten accustomed to the cold yet, so they're kind of hunkered down here. And now we're ready for 3rd down and 5. Handoff goes to that's Dylan Mullen on the carry, and he is up very close to the first down marker. They're going to probably measure this one, yep, and we'll see if the Lions are able to pick it up.
Tackle by number 12, Christian Porter.
And even if they don't have it, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Bremen didn't go for it here. It's a good situation for a quarterback sneak or another handoff. It's going to be real close here. It looks like the Lions have it. And it is a first down, Bremen. So with a minute to go, third quarter, Bremen trails John Glenn 21-24. In front of them, about 65 yards of field between them and the end zone, and a lead. Bremen moving fairly effectively on offense here in the third quarter. I formation, Mullen and Reed Zelmer. Receivers left and right. Pike on the near side. Handoff goes to Reed Zelmer up the middle. He's navigating out near the first down marker again. And it looks like Jimtown ball out here as we're pushing the pile forward. And it looks like a Bremen first down, depending on the spot of the ball. So we were talking about that last week, Jamal, how it's like every time that Jimtown runs the football, it's that push the pile mentality. And good to see the Lions hungry here, picking up the first down. First down to first down. We love keeping those chains moving. The Lions offense with the ball on the 45-yard line. Rolling. I formation again. Tight end right. Fake handoff inside and goes outside to Zelmer, who cuts it back inside and is able to pick up about 2 yards. Vicious collision on the outside between, it looked like Craig Allen, the lead blocker, or was that Taylor Yoder, who's always so good at getting out there ahead of the play. But that'll be the last play for the third quarter as the Lions trail 21-24 here in Walkerton. We will take a break and be right back with you. I'm Jesse Bohannon with Jamal Baldwin. You're listening to Northern State Conference football on BroadcastSport.net. Bremen football on BroadcastSport.net. I'm Jesse Bohannon coming to you from Falcon Field at John Glenn High School in Walkerton, just a few miles down US 6 from Bremen. And the Lions on offense. Second down and 7 to go. Ball goes to Zelmer again, who pitches to his brother, and a reversal there. And wow, what a nice run there by Ryan Zelmer, who takes the reverse and picks up, that'd be 2.5 plus about another, he's down near the 15-yard line, so plus another 35 yards, so 37.5 yards there on the carry for Ryan Zelmer on the reversal. I think that was Ryan Zelmer. Hensley and Smeltz on the tackle for the Falcons, and quickly back under center again is Slough, who this time gives to Reed Zelmer, who's hit at the line of scrimmage and jumps over the pile for a gain of about 2.5 yards. Adam Dodson on the tackle for the Falcons, and now Bremen inside the 20, down near the 10 in the fourth quarter. I formation again for the Lions. Pike on the near, Zelmer on the far. And the pitch again goes to Zelmer, who is nearly stopped short but surges ahead for a gain of about 2 yards, but we do have another flag on the play. and we will wait for the call. We've seen a lot of holding penalties here lately, and Bremen working new stuff into the offense. It's having a hard time getting those blocks, and again, it is holding on the Lions. So what was second and 8 and looked like it could have been 3rd and 5 is now going to be probably 2nd and about 15 or 20, depending on the spot of the ball here. And they still haven't marked it off yet. Here we go. Now they'll move it back. And doesn't end up being that bad. It's going to be about 2nd and 15. And Bremen back to the line. Slough takes the snap. Play action fake. Looks downfield for Pike, who is covered well. And a little pushing and shoving down there. Incomplete pass, but a good job of, although no, there is a flag on the play. And it looks like we might have a pass interference against Ethan Pike in the end zone. So we'll see what the call is again. The call is pass interference on the defense. And so that'll be an automatic first down. And I believe that's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be half the distance to the goal. And so Bremen, now just inside the 10-yard line, will have first and goal. 10 minutes, 44 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. The Lions trail 21-24. And I formation again for the Lions. Pike here on the near side, Holderman in motion. And Slough with the snap, handoff to Zelmer, who's inside the 5 and down near the 2-yard line. Tackled by Dotson again for the Falcons. And so the Lions knocking at the door. 2nd and a long 2 yards. Split, actually wishbone formation, double tight. And the handoff goes to Zelmer, who is in the end zone, and he's 2 yards deep before he's touched. Touchdown, Lions. Touchdown, Reed Zelmer. And that'll be his 3rd touchdown of the evening, making it 27-24 Lions right now, with the extra point coming up. 10 minutes, 4 seconds to play. Schlarb on the kick. Jacob Bennett the holder. And we've got another, man, I tell you, if we don't ever accept the penalty, I don't know why you would discourage the defense from doing that, because that's the 3rd time they've done that tonight. Oh, this time the fall starts on the Lions. So hush my mouth. And that'll back him up a little bit and put Slough in some territory. Put Schlarb in some territory he's not quite familiar with. He's not completed a field goal yet this year. 0 for 3 on attempts from outside the 10-yard line. So, but it's right in the middle of the field, and this might be a good one to get him comfortable at this distance. The snap is good. The spot is good. It's high and no good. And so the Lions leaving Glenn a place to tie it up maybe with a field goal. And now the Falcons will get the ball back with an opportunity to score themselves. And Lucas Schlarb set to kick off for the Lions as they lead 27-24. 10 minutes to play from Walkerton. The kick is on the ground and picked up inside the 35-yard line, out across the 45-yard line, and a flag down on the play in an area where it looks like a holding penalty, which should back up the Falcons. Illegal block below the waist against John Glenn. I believe is that a 10 or a 15? We shall see. Zach Gomes on the return for the Falcons. And they will back him up. And that is a 10-yard penalty. So the Falcons will take over 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. 9 minutes, 59 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Jimtown final against Triton, 49-14. New Prairie, 39, Knox 13 in the 3rd. And we go back to play here where an aggressive run right into a pile of green jerseys for Adam Dodson, and he's had a heck of a night here for the Falcons so far. He picks up about 4 yards on 1st down, makes it 2nd down and 6.
Carry by number 6, Adam Dodson. Tackle by number 26, Bobby Cornett.
Bobby Cornett on the tackle for Bremen. Some final scores here coming in from Eastern Indiana. Angola 58, Central Noble 12, Churubusco 38, Lakeland 16. And we're going to have a flag on the play here. Still haven't gotten a score from Culver and LaVille. And it looks like we've got a timeout on the field.
Mapletronics Computers is the place to find great computers, great service, and really great people. Stop by their showroom located at 2116 West Wilden Avenue in Goshen and see what's new in home and office computing. Give them a call at 534-2830 or visit their website at www.mapletronics.com. Mapletronics Computers is the place to find great
And more scores coming in. Elkhart Central 31, South Bend Clay 21. That's a final. Mishawaka 44, Washington 30. What a slug out there up in Northern Indiana action. And the handoff this time goes to Heiler for the Falcons. That'll bring up 3rd down as they stop him short here. It looks like about 3rd down and 3 or 4. Eric Nepper on the tackle for Bremen. That'll make it 3rd down and 3 to go for the Falcon offense. 8 minutes, 45 seconds to play as the Lions lead 27-24. And we haven't really had a whole lot of blowouts this year, Jamal. I usually like it when these games are firmly in control by this point of the game, but Bremen's definitely getting tested and getting used to learning how to manage a game till the end and to earn their wins in the 4th quarter. So it shouldn't be anything new for them come sectional time. And a nice stand here on 3rd and short. They bring the runner down for no gain. Bringing up 4th down and short. And I believe this is probably a punting situation here for Glenn. The defense has got to get it done. You can't try to go for it here and give Bremen this kind of field position, I don't think. Heiler again was the ball carrier for the Falcons. But it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th and short. So the Lions scramble to get back to the line. And it looks like they've moved the pile backwards. It would take a very generous spot here, I think, in order to give them the 1st down. But we will see where the spot of the ball is. And it is first down, John Glenn. Litke keeps the ball and picks up the first down for the Falcons. And so they'll continue to move the ball. Now 7:47 to go from Walkerton. The Lions lead 27-24, fourth quarter. The Lions again shifting, matching Glenn's formation strength, and now back to pass. Pass is complete, and up near the up across the 45, near the 47-yard line.
Pass complete to number 83, Jacob Strong.
Jacob Strong again, the receiver for John Glenn.
33.
And Nepper on the tackle again for the Lions. So that'll make it second and short, about second down and 2 yards to go. And Bremen waits for Glenn to come to the line. They get set, and you can see Glenn is starting to speed up the motion here. Now Heiler gets the 2 yards and about another 8 more. Total of 11 yards on the carry. Heiler gets up near the Bremen 42-yard line. Jacob Bennett on the tackle for the Lions. And it'll be first and 10 for the Falcons. And you can see now they've got some hop in their step here, Jamal. They're moving the first down markers, and they're starting to have some fun here on offense. Handoff goes inside.
It's important for the defense to wrap up right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And Dodson again on the carry for the Falcons, picks up about 4 yards. And it seems like the Falcons have found a good way to hit some inside seams and maybe to catch the Bremen backers blitzing, because they've been fairly successful here late in the third and early here in the fourth quarter so far. Back to pass. And he is hit as he releases, overthrows his receiver, who was triple covered there. And good pressure there. It looked like Lauterbach coming in from the backside to force the early throw and incompletion. So again, third and long. And I'll tell you what, Jamal, I've got to give Lidke some credit tonight. Being hobbled and slowed down, obviously, the way that he is, managing the game and completing passes. He's had a better statistical performance than what I expected, and he's done a good job for his team tonight on his senior night. So Lidke pitches left, again to Dotson, who is almost dragged down in the backfield, but is able to scamper forward, and you see that running back drill right in there. He pops his hand down and is able to get another 3-4 yards there and move the first down marker. It was Dodson. It was definitely Dodson. And so clearing up some confusion here in the press box, it was Dodson on the carry, and that'll make it first down, 10 yards to go for the Falcons. They've got a receiver wide right. And inside again it goes to Dodson, who picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
Carry by number 6, Adam Dodson. Tackle on the play by number 83, Dylan Mullen. Number 33, Eric Nepper.
Nepper and Mullen were on the last tackle, but now we have a flag down, and it's in the Bremen backfield. I see 2 flags on the play. Let's see the signal here. We've got offsetting penalties. Bremen actually double unsportsmanlike, and I'm guessing there's some jawing going on down there on the field because I didn't see any physical contact. So the penalties will offset. We'll still have second down and about 6.5 to go.
Setting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against each team.
And so 5 minutes, 39 seconds to play here. And it is really important, Jamal, for Bremen to get a stop because they can't afford, if Glenn can take another 2 or 3 minutes off the clock here and punch it in to go up by 4 points, Bremen would be in a trouble spot here. Getting a defensive stop is key.
And also stay away from those penalties.
Yeah. Carry by Dotson again. Looks like he's gained about 2 yards, maybe 3 on the play. It'll be third down. Pickup of 2 for Dodson. And it'll be 3rd and 5. Looks like a timeout, and there's a man down on the field. We've got a Falcon laying on the field down there near the 25-yard line.
Number 6, Adam Johnson. Tackled by number 22, Joel Miller. And number 64, Zach Zimmer.
Miller and Zimmer were in on the tackle for Bremen on the last play. But wondering what's going on. Who is that down there for the Falcons? So looking at the numbers coming off, we can see who it's not. We've got number 40 is still up, and it might be Adam Dodson, which for John Glenn would signal big trouble because they have really relied on him here so far in the second half. And he is up. He's got a decent limp going, but he is walking without aid and heading to the sideline. So good clapping for Dodson here. Again, what a great gritty performance in a big game here for Dodson, only a sophomore. Like I said, we're looking forward to seeing good stuff from him as time goes on. But we've got a 3rd down and 5 now. Key stop here coming up for the Lions. They're going to need to put a hit on somebody, and there should be some fresh legs in there running back for the Falcons. Man in motion, back to pass, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for Jake Strong, but it hit his hands and then bounced off his chest plate to the ground, which will make it 4th down. And now an interesting situation. Again, if you've got a kicker, here's a spot where you can tie it up with a field goal, or you can take a shot to try to secure the win. But if you throw incomplete, you may not get the ball back. So, big decision for the Falcons, but out comes Kyle Lidke, ready to lead his Falcons for another 4th down conversion attempt. We've got Strong right. And back to pass is Lidke again, holding, and nice sack there. Nice sack by number 95, Alan Lauderback. Big sacks the last couple of weeks, and the Falcons will turn the ball over on downs. So when the defense needed to step up, they got it done. Miller and Lauderback with the pressure up the middle and the sack. So just over 5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Bremen now needing to put together a sustained drive to milk this clock. And time is now not your friend. You've got to, another touchdown would be nice, but what's really important is to put together some first downs to take some time off the clock. What say you, Jamal?
I agree. Run that clock.
So don't want to throw the ball here. We need Zelmer, and there he is. Nice 6-7 yard pickup on first down. That's exactly what you want to do. And run that clock. So you'll probably see Slough breaking his huddle late and leaving them set until the play clock winds down. It was Zelmer on the carry for a gain of 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. .15 seconds on the play clock. I formation. Receivers left and right. We have Pike on the near side. And Ryan Zelmer on the far. Defensive substitution for Glenn. And into the ball game comes Ryan Price. It was nice of Bremen to not snap the ball while they were waiting on the defensive substitution. And now it looks like the play clock is reset. So now 10 seconds on the play clock, and Slough sets his offense. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. Handoff inside goes to Mullen, who breaks through, swims a man, and is now down to the 40, 35, 40, or 30, down to the 25, and outside. Let's see where they spot the ball. Man, where are they going to spot it here? Because he was tiptoeing along that line for a few yards here. And it looks like he'll have the ball on the 22-yard line.
By number 83, Dylan Mullen. Forced out of bounds by
33 yards. So
number 83, Jacob Strong.
Jacob Strong on the tackle
Now Bremen.
for Glenn, and a first down for the Lions after on second and short. Mullen is able to pick up over 30 yards. Holderman in motion. Slough with the snap. Handoff goes to Zelmer, who hits a wall, gets a second surge, breaks free from another man, keeps churning and churning and churning, and now the whistle. Under 4 minutes to play. And Zelmer, with a very authoritative and aggressive run there, picks up about 6.5 yards on first down.
Tackled by number 80, Ryan Price. Number 40, Derek Heiler.
Ryan Price and Derek Heiler on the tackle for the Falcons. It'll be second down. And about 4 yards to go for the Lions. Now under 3.5 minutes to play here in the game. The Lions lead 27-24 from Walkerton. Handoff to Mullen, who shoots through and is up near the first down marker. And it'll be third down in inches. Third and about a yard.
Carried by number 83, Dylan Mullen. Tackled by number 58, Hunter Schumann.
Hunter Schumann on the tackle for the Falcons. And do we have a timeout on the field? Because the clock is not running yet. And they're going to measure for the first down here. Interesting. So Bremen will be able to get their play in and run a full 25 seconds off the clock once the ball's spotted here. And it does look fairly close. I don't know that this was measurement territory, but we'll see. You want to zoom in there, Jamal? Let's get a good shot on that. And it is, wow, it's 1.5 yards short almost. I don't even know why you measure that one. Somebody needed a break down there. And so it'll be third down, about 4 feet to go for the Bremen offense. And with 2 shots at this, I figure just run it straight ahead. Maybe go goose sneak, something like that here. What do you think, Jamal?
I would pump straight in for the first down.
There you go. And so looks like they've got a nose guard in here. 5-man front for the Falcons. I formation. Tight end right for Bremen. Holderman in motion right to left. And the handoff goes to Zelmer, who breaks through and is in for the touchdown. So rank it up there. Another 6 points. It'll be 33-24 for Zelmer. And, man, boy, did we miss him during the middle of the parts of the season, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I believe that's the 4th touchdown tonight for Reed Zelmer. And, boy, has he had a last 3 weeks here coming back off injury. Man, we're glad to have him back. So the Lions will kick the extra point. Schlarb on for the PAT. The holder is Jacob Bennett. And we'll see if we can have a PAT attempt today without a penalty. The snap is back. The spot is down. The kick is up, and it is good. 34 Bremen, 24 John Glenn. With 2 minutes, 48 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter, you're listening to Bremen Lion football on BroadcastSport.net.
Bremen 34, John Glenn 24.
Ready to kick off again and give it one last defensive stand for the night. with the Falcons trailing by 2 scores now. Bremen just needs to slow them down. So, and the Falcons have had a dangerous return game tonight, so my guess is that they're going to try to keep it out of the hands of Zach Combs. And I'm wondering, what is the status on Adam Dodson? Do we see him out there on the field, or is he on the sideline? But Schlarb actually pooches it very much away from Combs and across the field to another defender who advances it, or another Falcon who advances it out near the 30-yard line. And that's where the Falcons will take over 1st and 10. Andrew Hensley was the return man for the Falcons. 1st and 10, John Glenn on their own 31-yard line. And back to pass. And sacked.
Ethan Pike.
Sacked is Letke. It looked like
That was Ethan Pike.
it was Pike on the blitz. All right. Nice call there by the defense. And you don't see that too often. I think that's Ethan's first sack of the year. So a good wrinkle thrown in there by the Bremen defensive staff. And now the clock is ticking. And it'll be 2nd down and about 17 yards to go, approaching 2 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Bremen shifts. And the handoff goes inside. Good wrap up there by 64 for the Lions. That's Zach Zimmer with the tackle there. About a 2 or 3 yard gain for Smeltz for the Falcons. And again, now down near a minute 30 to play, and it looks like this one is pretty much in the books here. Unless Glenn's able to score here in the next couple of plays, I don't see much going on with the clock continuing to run the way it is. Handoff goes inside again, and this time it goes to, looks like Smeltz again on the carry, but the clock continues to move, and now it is 4th down and about 7 yards to go. Zimmer again on the tackle for the Lions, and now 1 minute to play. The Lions lead the Falcons 34-24 from Falcon Field in Walkerton, and Glenn doesn't look like they're trying to score here. It looks like this one might be in the books, but back to pass now, and good time for the Glenn quarterback. 1st down picked up there by Jake Strong, who has been the outlet receiver for the Falcon offense. Cornett on the tackle for the Lions, and now Glenn going hurry up. They'll spike it to manage the clock, and that'll make it 2nd down. 10 yards to go. 36 seconds remaining here in the 4th.
Looking to separate yourself from the pack? If you need that extra push to achieve your athletic goals, give Performance One a try. Performance One was created to take athletes to the next level.
And I guess we're not going to have that much time there. The Falcons go back to offense, and wow! Whoo! Alan Louderback just lights up the Glenn ball carrier there, and it's like he ran into a brick wall. You know the difference between that and a brick wall, Jamal? Brick walls don't come at you.
Yeah.
So good move there by Lauderback. And now the tackle by Fox there as brings up 4th down yet again. And it looks like we're about to just have the clock run out on us as we're now at 5 seconds to play. And rack this one up as a Bremen win. So the Lions take sole possession of 3rd place in the Northern State Conference with this 34-24 win. Great performance by the defense again tonight. And just the the continuing emergence of Reed Zelmer, a running back, 4 touchdowns tonight, and lots of yards. We'll get to see those in the paper tomorrow morning. Next week we will be on the road. We're going to have to head out a little bit earlier than we're used to because we'll need to get down to Lewis Cass in time for that 7:30 kickoff. So we're glad that you could join us tonight as Bremen moves to 6-3 on the season, and pretty much we're pretty close to where we had hoped that we would be at this time of the year. I know we probably could have avoided that week 2 loss to Tippecanoe Valley, and maybe just had 2 losses by this point in the season, but we're where we want to be for playoff time. And a matchup with the Cass Kings, who are a very good football team. They're going to probably test us as well as anybody will in the sectional or regional next week. And it gives us the opportunity to control our own destiny. We play the best team in the sectional during week 1, and possibly a home game in week 2 if we can secure that win. So hopefully another couple, 3-4 weeks of football ahead of us, and we will be there every step of the way. You can count on us here at broadcastsport.net. So thank you for listening. For myself and Jamal Baldwin, for the victorious Lions across the field there, we will let you enjoy the players over there singing the fight song and heading off the field, and then we will call it a night here from John Glenn High School in Walkerton, Indiana. Again, I'm Jesse Bohannon alongside Jamal Baldwin. Send any comments or suggestions that you might have to sales@broadcastsport.net. Again, that's sales@broadcastsport.net, and we want to thank our supporters one more time who make this possible. Thank you to fourway.net. Thank you to Mapletronics, to Bruno's Pizza in Napanee, to Koffel Construction, to Performance One, to the Dugout in South Bend, and again to Verizon. We appreciate Verizon making the air cards available so that we can broadcast here on location from Glenn. But we'll run down our scores for you real quick. East Side 38, Prairie Heights 13, that's a final. Elkhart Central 31, Clay 21, that's a final. Mishawaka 44, South Bend Washington 30, Penn 30, Adams 13, St. Joe 38, Riley 19, Concord 21, Warsaw 7, Memorial 14, Northridge 12, New Prairie 53, Knox 13, Plymouth 24, Northwood, excuse me, I'm going to have to go back to that one. That just scrolled off the screen while I was trying to read it, but we'll make sure we get these here before we head out. Let's see, St. Joe 38, Riley 9, that's a final. Concord 21, Warsaw 7, that's still in the third quarter, or at least that's the last report that we had. And of course, this stuff always refreshes while I'm trying to read live on the air. We'll be back to that here in just a second. Let me update mine. Culver Academy 40, Fairfield 10. There's a potential sectional matchup for us. Elkhart Memorial 14, Northridge 12. Jimtown 49, Triton 14. That's a final. What is it? Plymouth 24, Northwood 14. That's a score from the third. Wawasee 21, Goshen 7. And Marion is leading Normal West in Illinois 21-7 in the second quarter. So that's our roundup of Northern Indiana football scores. We're glad that we had you with us.